Are we glad to be here? Are we grateful? That means we're ready to sing. Let's get on up. Let's release and let go. Here we go. I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Everybody, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And God is love. Woo! Give yourselves a hand.
Arne Batson, and before you sit down, say hello to at least 3 people. Stand up and say hello to at least 3 people if you can. Thank you. I know that caught them off guard, didn't it? Shake it up a little bit. That's right.
Blood pressure moving.
That's right.
Heart rate going. Presence of God in our bodies.
And so how perfect that we're all together in this room today, and now having broken the ice by saying hello, even though many of you had already said hello, but think about it in the context of, so we'll let you have conversations after the service, and, okay, back to me. Gwen, Lloyd, back to me. Hello. Daddy's on the pulpit. Okay, so I wanted you to all say hello to each other from the perspective of, I know you had done it earlier, but we had just sang, I release and I let go, and I let Spirit run my life. In that moment, obviously, Spirit as me was running your life, but what a great example for us to be open to letting the energy of that which is known as healing, which is what that song is all about, to guide us into something which may feel a little uncomfortable for the purpose of opening up and feeling that which is within us. Good morning. So good to see you all. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And we'd like to welcome you both in person and online today, and to give a huge shout out to our musicians today, Arne Batson, who is an extended member of our family, and the one and only Eric Butler, who's here today shining his light. Eric showed up at 9 o'clock this morning, and I said to him, I loved it, because we got to sit and hang out and talk a little bit, and I said, how unusual for a musician to show up anywhere early, right? So just goes to... Girl, you're always on time.
That's right.
On time.
And in time.
Never early. No, so good to come together today, and thank you for being here. We come together on Sunday mornings to honor and acknowledge the power and the presence of what we like to call the thing itself. We come together to celebrate the uniqueness that Spirit has placed upon it by means of each one of us. We primarily follow the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind, The science of mind is a compilation of all the great spiritual studies in the world at the time and put together in writings and a philosophy, as I said before, and published as a book called The Science of Mind in 1926, authored by Dr. Ernest Holmes. One likes to look at Dr. Ernest Holmes as a deity. I do not. I look at him much like I look at Jesus, as the example for what is possible for each and every one of us to use this power that is within us. This power that I speak of is the creative power of the universe. It's that which has created all that exists, and it created you, and it created me, and it's creating that which we're experiencing right now, the moment, the sound, the chair, the cameras, the energy, all of it. It is infinite by nature and unbound by nature, but to bring it down to a very simple form, the way that you and I experience it and express it is through our thoughts, our thinking, through our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with it. And as we acknowledge it within ourselves and with each other, we align ourselves with its vibrational frequency. I say that in a way because we look at this energy as being mind, uppercase M, meaning that it is mental energy that is taking place, and we both experience it and express it as mental beings, but it also becomes tactile at some point, which is important for us to understand, because if we don't like the tactile experiences that we're having in life, or any experience in life, we have the great gift, the great blessing, and the great opportunity to change that which is going on in our mind, our soul, our being, and in so doing, the law of life responds and gives us a different response, a different experience. So today, I invite each and every one of us, if we're new in this room or whether we've been here before, to choose to acknowledge it as a new opportunity, as a new experience, to feel the power and the presence in a new way, to express the power and the presence in a new way, and to allow it to do something through us that it's never done before. This isn't done out of ego. It's out of looking at the power that is within us and playing with it in the realm of spiritual experimentation. Are you guys up for that? Yes. Good, I like that. So say, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I didn't hear you. Yes, I am. Fantastic. So with that, we're going to move into our opening ritual for the morning, which is called calling in the light. Another thing to remember is we've heard it, many of us, many times. Let's hear it today anew. I'd like to welcome to the beam of one of our staff ministers, the one and only Reverend Lenore Edney, to share her light and wisdom as she takes us through this ritual. You're welcome.
This ritual that's called calling in the light. Today we perform it to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths and all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. So we're going to do the healing candle. And we ask you to take a moment and think of anyone you would like to silently put into the light of the healing flame, and to experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. And I invite you to say their names aloud if you wish.
Ted Spring. Sweet Collins. Joe Biden.
Knowing that each and every person you have spoken of is the very essence of life itself, we accept and know that each and every person is that vibrancy that is life. And as we acknowledge for the individual spoken, we do so acknowledge for ourselves. So I'm doing a little reading this morning. And you know, the one thing about coming here on Sundays or being online on Sundays and is in particular importance, the whole idea of remembering what it is we each are. We are that which is light and love and peace and harmony and joy and ever so much more. So this reading is for you. Life happens for you, not to you. It happens in support of your overall upliftment and evolution. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of an uncontrollable force or forces. You are not just meant to react to the world. You are a creator, a cause of effects. You're more than a mere effect of external causes. I want you to just think about that. You are a creator. So as we go into this spiritual mind treatment, I invite you to take the words in as yourself. And I invite you to close your eyes, and I'm speaking in the first person. So right here and right now, in this beautiful moment that is the divine, made manifest by each and every person in this room, we acknowledge the grandeur, the beauty, the vibrancy, and we accept and know that our highest good is individually received, understood, and as I am that which is, I too am that vibrancy. I too am that perfect health. And easily I let go of that stuff that's not mine anyway. Let go of any of that idea of restriction, any idea of discomfort. And I evolve purposefully as I keep my mind aware of what it is that Spirit wants to do by means of me. I'm ready, and I easily step forward and say yes. Yes to the universal energy that is the divine. And in gratitude for all of the good that is mine, I just say yes to even more, to the absolute blessings that I readily see and accept. I give great gratitude for this center. I give great gratitude for Dr. Keith and for our musicians and for our technicians who assist us every single Sunday in getting the word out. I'm grateful for each and every person in this room and online, because it's all God and it's all good. And let's just go from here and step out into that which is ours to do. These words are done, said, complete. We let go and we allow them to be so. And together we say, and so it is.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. spirit. I am soul. All together, we are whole. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Ooh, calling in the light. We are calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. We're calling in the light of love. And so it is.
And so it is, 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 and so it is.
Godessa and Eric Butler. And Godessa here too, yes. So I don't know if can I share your news? Yeah. So I don't know if, we're trusting that today is not the last day that we will see Reverend Lenore and David here with us, but they've bought a home and they're moving to Vancouver, Washington. And so we're so excited for them and heartbroken at the same time. So they're not leaving us, they're just changing the physical location by which they take care of their kitty cat, Miss Amy. So that's how we're gonna acknowledge that. So yes. So one thing Reverend Lenore stated in her spiritual mind treatment that I think is so pertinent, good morning, so pertinent, and good morning, Craig, pertinent to us all is keeping my mind aware. You know, I do a lot of counseling throughout the week, and one of the things that I try to keep as a constant with people is to remember the most important thing for us as we navigate our humanity right now in this time of what appears to be chaos on the planet, to stay clear of our awareness of our awareness. Right? Right? So remember, do our best to stay awareness of our awareness, meaning be aware of what it is that we're letting our mind take in, what we're participating in, what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're listening to, and even more importantly, how we're processing that information, what we're doing with it and acting in accordance to that. So thank you for using those words, and what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading and spiritual mind treatment. Thank you. And the quote that she read from was from the hypnotherapist that we had on with Conversations with Dr. Keith a couple of weeks ago, Ian Anderson. So big shout out to Ian as well. So you ready for some more music by these beloveds? Yes.
And you're singing with us.
No, well, am I? Oh, that was a dig.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
Will you give me 2 singing lessons beforehand? Okay.
He'll be ready. Give him encouragement. Give him loving encouragement. He'll be ready. Yes. Oh, let's just take a breath. Let's just take a breath together. I'm always so thankful and grateful to be here with you. It's such a lovely, lovely community. So thank you for the invitation. I want to welcome my dear friend, wonderful pianist. This is his very first time here, so let's make him feel very welcome. This is Mr. Eric Butler, the wonderful Eric Butler. And I always got to give love to Travis, because he just makes it so easy. So give it to him. Come on. Thank you. So I'm bringing forward a song from a friend. She is an incredible songwriter and just beautiful human being. Some of you might know her music. It's Karen Drucker. And I got to sing this for her. And she liked my version. So I'm singing it for you and with you today. So if you know this song, it's I see the beauty in you, and so it is. So towards the end of the song, you got a part. Y'all want to audition now? So your part, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. You all won. You're in the choir. You're in the choir. Let's do this song. I see the beauty in you. I see the brilliance in you. I see the faith in you, and so it is. I see the child in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I can see it. It's right there for me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength in you, and so it is. I see the joy in you. I see your light shining through. I see the love all in you, and so it is. I can see it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul, and I just know that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you. I see the courage in you. I see the heart that's in you. So it is. I see the freedom in you. I see your love shining through. I see your life force in you, and so it is. I see the child in you, and so it is. I see the power in you, and so it is. I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the goodness in you, and so it is. I see the freedom in you, and so it is. I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I see intention in you, and so it is. I see inspiration in you, and so it is. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. So it is. Eric Butler.
Yes. Eric Butler and Arne Batson giving light to Karen Drucker. Love me some Karen Drucker.
Love me some Karen Drucker.
Love me some Karen Drucker. You know, Karen Drucker, you are the face of God. You know. Yeah, certainly a catalyst in the New Thought music community, without a doubt. And I'm still doing great work out there in the world. And so back there, just bearing witness to the channeling of the light of the divine by that song, and hearing the words, I see the freedom in you, I see the light in you, and so it is. What a wonderful way to live life. Not only to acknowledge the divine that we see in each other, but then to declare it as truth when we say, and so it is. I've really been tuning into of late the reality of what we teach in this teaching of everything is energy and consciousness is infinite by nature, and that everything that we express vibrates at a frequency. In modern day terms, we use that. In old school, it was just called consciousness. But that it not only is just, it's not just in that moment, it's that which is the moment by which it's expressed and experienced, but it's also buoyed, if you will, and founded in every time it's ever been stated or said or expressed. And so as you were singing that, and I was hearing the term, and so it is, and singing along as we were saying, so it is, I was thinking, just imagine how many times on our planet the words, and so it is, have been stated. And each time they've been stated, it's been with the intent for healing to take place. Healing, not just in physical, albeit many times in the physical sense, and I've said it many times over the last 2 weeks and plan on saying it a lot today, in the sense of there being physical healing. But healing in the sense of what Dr. Ernest Holmes tells us is the revealing of wholeness. When we step into healing, we are revealing that which already is. We like to call it God, we call it spirit, we call it the thing itself. I jokingly said this morning we call it Beulah and Buddha, right? But it's all the names. The truth is it matters not what we call it, but that we call it. For the purpose of when we call upon it, it responds to us. And it responds to us, and if it were to have personality, I believe it would be to then shine its light through us. It is shining its light through us in here this morning. You can feel it. You can sense it. You know it's happening. The important thing is for us to remember to take it beyond the four walls, to live it out in the community today. And so my message for us today, which I would love to stand here for 30 minutes and just go freely, but I'm not going to do that. I know I can do that. But there's some things I want to share today, and I invite you to allow your holiness to hear what I'm going to read to us today, with the purpose of having us, well, it's fairly self-explanatory, so I should just get into it, right? I'm going to start by reading an excerpt from the book, the Book of Joy, in the chapter Last Happiness in a Changing World. This was published quite some time ago, but I believe it's befitting today. It's a book that chronicles conversations between the great Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And the 8 Pillars of Joy, it's titled, begins in this way. Seeking the kingdom is not something that happens outside of us. It's a state of consciousness. When God created, it did so with no expectation, instead giving us unconditional freedom. In doing so, God experiences itself as us, through us, no matter what our life looks like. Spirit's love holds us in the despair of our deepest and darkest secrets and in the joy of our greatest triumphs. It will not step in to save us if we're taking the wrong path, because there is no wrong path. Take that in. There's so much to delve into in that statement alone. It will not stop to save us. A, it can't stop. B, it's not part of its a part of its nature. C, its nature isn't to save, even though we're taught in other religions it is. And C, there is no wrong path. There's just the journey that we're each on. It goes on to say here, there's nothing that we can ever do that will turn God's love away from us. When we keep our attention on spirit, we begin to embrace ourselves, warts and all. The walls of victimization start to tumble down as we take responsibility for our perspective and subsequent actions, allowing others the dignity of being responsible for theirs. In the last 24 hours or 7 days, how willing were we each to allow others to have the dignity for being responsible for their own perspective and their own actions. I know personally I haven't, but I'm willing to start anew right now. It continues in this chapter to say, keeping our focus on the divine instead of our problems, everything falls into place in ways we could never have dreamed. Such is the promise of a spiritual life, one that is without limits. What he's speaking to is our choosing to live in the freedom that is inherently and innately ours. This month we're speaking to freedom, and for myself, I will certainly state, I know there have been times over the last month where I've had great fear that as a person who navigates this planet in the land of the United States of America, as a gay man, that my, along with many of my sisters and brothers' freedoms seem to be in jeopardy. And inasmuch as that is true in the physical sense, it's important for us as practicing metaphysicians to remember that we are not to live life based on circumstances, conditions, effect, and experiences. We don't deny them, we don't close our eyes to them, but we return to spirit. And it begins and ends in mind. Freedom, I'm speaking of, as Ernest Holmes defines it in this way. Real freedom means that the human is created in the image and perfection and let alone and allowed to make the discovery for themselves. Freedom of will means the ability to do, say, and think as one wishes, to express life as one personally desires. Jesus said it this way. Y'all know him, right? Yeah. Right. Jesus said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." For so many years in my life, I heard that statement, and the way I processed it was, there is a truth. And if I lean into that truth, I will be free. But that's not at all, I believe, what he's saying. He says that ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That truth is one that is forever changing within us as far as our own personal nature of how we align and believe the power itself is and how it's doing its thing through us. He goes on to take it a little deeper then, Ernie, referencing Jesus' quote, and he goes, the understanding of truth, and that's what's always evolving if we're but willing to let that happen. The understanding of truth, infinite principle, is the emancipator. We are bound by our very freedom, but it's our free will that binds us. The universe, being deductive only, cannot refuse us anything. The very force that makes us sick can heal us. As one realizes their oneness, the creative mind, in the creative mind, they are released from the bondage of false thinking. My objective this morning is for you and I to get clearer with greater purpose and intention to use our freedom and to tune into the creative mind that is within us so that we may be released from the bondage of false thinking. I'm not saying that that's easy to do all the time, but the only way to do it, as Nike tells us, is to do it, girl. Which means when we're confronted with false ideas or opinions or letting the ego guide us, to stop it, step away, and ask ourselves, what do I know to be true? I've shared with you many times before a very salient moment, a pinnacle, a shift, a transformation in my life where I was having a moment of being, oh! You get the picture, right? Kind of like, ah! And I was working with a coach of mine, and he said to me, very few people can get away with this. He said to me, Keith, I need you to shut up and to sit down and listen to me. And I was like, okay. I trusted him. He said, I'm going to ask you a question. He goes, and before you answer it, I want you to make sure that you're clear on it, and it's a two-part question. And I've leaned on this for so many years in my life, and I know many of you have because I've shared it, and I invite you to do it as well. He says, do you believe there's a power greater than you in the universe? Without missing a beat, my answer was yes. He said, what do you call it? And I said, I call it God. He goes, now, the important question. Has it ever failed you? The answer is no, it has not ever failed. And I said, after thinking about it and probing my mind, no. And with that, he slapped his hands together and said, now get over it. That's true. Don't ever think that way again, maybe that it had. It has never failed you, and it never will. What you and I are called to believe with every fiber of our being, more and more and more and more, is that spiritual truth, and then to use the unfailing power that is within us in a way to the best of our ability to co-create the life we desire. Not just so that we have the right house and the right car and perfect health, but moment by moment by moment by moment, and especially when that which we look at appears to be less than godly. My dear friend, Reverend Carol Carnes, wrote something I'm going to share with you that I believe is applicable today more than ever in regards to this from her blog titled Living Consciously. And this was 14 years ago this was published. Dear friends, imagine living in a reality where things appear to be separate and distinct from one another, but are actually one unified livingness. Where sentient beings share the same mind but do not know it. Where a field of awareness undergirds all forms and is available to the form as inspiration and creative thought. But where the being itself thinks it is limited to or by its past experience. Imagine a world where many think their source of their good is somewhere beyond their reach, that they cannot access it, that somehow they're not deserving of its bounty, or that only a few are, and the rest of us are inferior beings. Ha! She says. Hilarious. What a world that would be. Those beliefs would produce violent crime, war, sexism, racism, homophobia, child abuse, depression, insanity, all kinds of addictions, religions that exclude poverty, oppression, and every other kind of limitation based on fear. In parentheses, false evidence appearing real. It's not hard to imagine, Carol writes. Just look around. It's the world we inhabit. Our problems, if you will, are problems of perception, of misinterpretation of ancient wisdom, of mental manipulation by those who fear their own perceived powerlessness. Now, imagine how simply and quickly our shared reality could change. Let's hear that again. Now imagine how simply and quickly our shared reality could change. It would be a quantum jump from ignorance to enlightenment. It can only come about by means of each one of us standing up and declaring our freedom from tyranny of all kinds, beginning with the tyranny of our own limited thinking. Process that for a moment. Are you guys getting cold? I'm seeing you all kind of, okay, you're good? Peace, she says. Peace. We all know what peace is. She says peace is ours now. And so is every other thing our hearts long for, and that deep inside we know are ours to claim and to share. Let's make it real. Demonstrate the truth. Peace is ours now. Now, I think it might be a bit challenging to imagine peace as an experience on our planet right now. Would you agree with that? Yeah. But I do think it's possible to look at peace through the lens of my acronym for peace. Purposeful energy activates conscious evolution. Yeah, right? You go, Keith. Mm-hmm. Now begin to imagine peace existing now as a purposeful energy that exists within us. It's the indwelling power and the presence of the only thing it is. And it's waiting for us to align with it, to become aware of our mind, to become aware of our awareness of its existence, of remembering the continuity of life that exists within us. Someone said to me this week in one of my counseling sessions, we were talking about the power of God, and they said, well, you know, I believe it's Emerson who said, God is lying in smiling repose, and that's what I lean into and think. And I said, well, just for clarity in that situation, that's not someone lying in a beaded gown far, far away waiting for you to do something. It's a metaphor, meaning there's an energy within us waiting for us to acknowledge it, align with it, and then act in accordance with it to the best of our ability. And the minute we find ourselves not doing that, stop, forgive ourselves, and realign. I'd like for you to close your eyes and to imagine your life today, living from a place where you've tuned into that energy within you. That energy, which quality does include peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. But it's an energy that when we choose to use it purposefully in a way to reflect it, I invite you to imagine that happening in your world today. And then to imagine that happening in the world of others where previously you've believed it to be impossible. And to remind you that impossible is just an opinion. It's also broken down as I'm possible. It's not the first time we've been told to use our imagination. The great John Lennon, as we addressed last week, told us to imagine there's no heaven. And let's listen to these lyrics with your eyes closed, please. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for and no religion to. Imagine all the people living in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be and live as one. When you feel complete, you can open your eyes. The last line, the world will live in one, is a clarion call for each of us today. To not look at life as what's impossible, but to do everything that we can to live in freedom and to bring peace to this planet. It's up to you and it's up to me to share our energy of light. The next week ahead in our country may be a wild one. It's important for us to not get sucked into the madness, while at the same time remember what we're imbued with. To remember that should we desire to experience love, we are to give love. If we desire to experience understanding, we must be understanding. If we desire for there to be a change, we must change. Why is that true? That's because the very foundations of our teaching tell us that we live in a universe that is interconnected, That spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. We are individualizations of the thing itself. And that we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, meaning that it responds to us by corresponding to our state of being. We are that which is the micro and the macro. People want to look at this teaching as it's simply about change your thinking and change your world, and that is critical and important to do. But it's not that simple. What's required is to dream, to imagine, to act, to forgive, to redefine, to realign, to think, to dream, to imagine, to step back, to meditate, to affirm, use spiritual mind treatment, listen to music, get quiet, and also get loud. So today, on this day, July 14th in the year 2024, I affirm for each one of us, we've said yes to an expanded awareness of our awareness and of knowing who we are as divine beings. And we're not only willing to be peaceful warriors, but that is a peaceful warrior as purposeful energy activates conscious evolution. The great Barbara Marx Hubbard, the touchstone and the leader of the conscious evolutionist movement, says that for you and I, and I'm paraphrasing here, for you and I to experience and to express a conscious evolution, a quantum leap in the way that we believe as to what is possible in life, we must put our ego aside and let the essence of the divine guide us. I honor and acknowledge and am bearing witness to the essence that is within each and every one of you. I trust and know that as I say amen, and so it is, that we call all of the angels, the and so it is angels from behind, to take us forward today and onward, and a change indeed is happening. It's up to you, and it's up to me. Are you ready to say yes to it? Yes. Thank you. Have a great Sunday. And so it is. So this next song that Arne and Eric are going to do is one that Arne so wanted to do, and I'm so excited. I love this lady, you know that, right? Love, love, love her, and I always just listen to her. Always listen to her, because she's the light of God, doing its thing. Around the world, by the way, this girl's out in the world living her ministry, and we're all blessed for it. So the song, she always looks good. But this song that she's going to do is one that you'll know some of it, and it's a really unique rendition of it. And I invite you to reflect on the history that you have with it, and also let it be a guide for what's in front of you. Arne Batson and Eric Butler.
Thank you all. I'm reaching all the way back into 1949. None of y'all were born then. 1949, the incredible Pete Seeger had a wonderful song that was sung around the world. It was a song of peace. It was a song of coming together, If I Had a Hammer. And I've reimagined it with one of my favorite singers and role models, Aretha Franklin. So this is what would happen if Aretha Franklin and Pete Seeger had a baby. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out the love between my brothers and my sisters all over, all over, all over. Hold on one second. Y'all know this song. Y'all know this song. I'd hammer out danger. I'd hammer out a warning. I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. I'd hammer out danger. Hey. I'd hammer out a warning. I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over the land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning. I'd ring it in the evening. I'd ring it all over this land. Come on, y'all. I'd ring out danger. I'd ring out a warning. And I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over the land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning. Yes, I would. I'd sing it in the evening too. I'd sing it all over this land. I'd sing out danger. I'd sing out justice. I'd sing out the love between my brothers and my sisters all over. Keep clapping. Well, I got me a hammer and I got me a bell. And I've got a song to sing all over the land. It's a hammer of justice. It's a hammer of freedom. It's a hammer of love between my brothers and my sisters all over the land. Justice. Come on. Freedom. So much love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. All over this land. Sing your songs, ring your bells, strike the hammer for freedom. Yeah, yeah. Woo! Thank you.
Right? Reimagining and imagining. Arne Batson and Eric Butler. How you guys doing? Good. I was thinking, oh my God, is that coming from my pocket? No, it's coming from out there. Good morning, right? It's good to be together, right? So we'll be together again in a month in August, and what a wonderful opportunity we have, and so good to see many of you that I know have been unable to make it of late. So glad you're up and you're agile and you're here and you're in person and you're living your life with grace and with ease and to the best of your ability, right? That's the way it works, right? Tell them, Craig, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. Please remember our community when you're out talking to friends and family, and invite them in. It would be great to just share the way it is. A big acknowledgement to also those that are online today through Zoom and through YouTube and who will watch us at a later date. Some acknowledgements of gratitude to Travis Smith in the back, who always does such a wonderful job of taking care of our audio. To Robert Hensley, who's both our administrative assistant and social media, who is monitoring that today from Pennsylvania, interestingly enough. Yes, he's there on a summer work job. And a big thank you to our musicians, Eric and to Arne. So just out of curiosity, I'm not putting you on the spot because I want to put you on the spot. I'm doing a little inquiry of there seems to be a clarion call for me to teach a class again. So if I were to teach a class, it would be online in the evenings. How many of you in the room would be interested? I'm thinking a 4-week class. Okay, well, I like that. That's helping me. Okay, 4 weeks. That sounds good, right? 4 weeks, not 8, not 10, 4. So, because anything more than 4, well, I don't have to explain, but anything over 4 just overwhelms me. Because I'm not going to say I don't have. Prior to this moment, I really haven't had the capacity to take the curriculum that was written by CSL. Of course, I take it and then rewrite it and write my own curriculum. So it's quite invasive. But there are a lot of people, anyway, I'm just going to quit rambling. It's hard to, it's hard to do that. It's hard to stop rambling after I've given a message. Anyway. Okay. Wednesday mornings, we do a midweek morning meditation. I invite you to join it. You can get all the information of what we do here at CSL-LA on our website, CSL-LA.org, or the app in the App Store is a great resource for what we do as well. There's a new thought text for the day that goes out each morning at 7:30. It's a great, great tool to remember who you are and what you're all about. I'm going to read this morning's to you, so you have it. And by the way, I have mine programmed, and I invite you to do the same. You know, we all have one of these little devices, and in it, you assign your contact a name. So if you get the contact, the new thought comes in each morning, and I don't know if you have it assigned a name, but mine is assigned the name, a new thought for the day. So ding, at 7:30, the bell goes off, and it goes, oh, you have a message from a new thought for the day. And here was what today's is from Dorothy L. Sayers. Except ye become as little children, except you can wake on your 50th birthday with the same forward-looking excitement and interest in life that you enjoyed when you were 5. Ye cannot enter the kingdom of God. One must not only die daily, but every day one must be born again. Yeah, right? You go, Dorothy Sayers. You know, so it's always something new and fun to help us think in a new way in regards to what's going on in our life. A couple of our congregants need prayer work right now, and so I invite you to just include them in your mindset right now. One is Ted Sprague, who is definitely going through something. If you guys remember, Ted, he used to sit back behind kind of where Tom is right now. If there may be others. Our beloved Reverend Mike McMorrow could use that. And so anyone else that you may know, let's include them. Yes, Wendy. And Wendy would like to have support as well. And so we're going to close today. Know that there are Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies for you out there, and coffee, and bars. I'm sorry, I forgot something. So Arne is going to, Reverend Lenore is going to walk now. Now is the opportunity. Let me do this. Hold on. Start anew. Okay, now is the time to support our community financially. Yes, thank you. So I'd like to invite you to do that. Reverend Lenore is walking by right now with a bag. If you'd like to give us any cash, check, or jewelry, we'll be happy to take that. And if not, if you'd like to go online, you can use our website, csl-la.org. Click on Donate or our app in the App Store. And let's know that as we process this moment of being financially free, we are abundant beings living in an abundant universe, propagating the good that is who we are. And that which we receive, we also give back to the universe. And so let's all trust and know that good is happening through us, and say together, and so it is. Okay. Do you guys have any more music? Oh, that's right. So we're gonna close with the song "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and then I'm gonna take us out with a treatment. Actually, I'm gonna do the treatment first, and then we'll go. Can I have a little tinkling on the keys, please? I'm thinking of this quote from Metaphysics, like, "Where there appears to be chaos, there is order." So I'm going to trust there is order where there appears to be chaos right now. It's actually not chaos, it's just this bundle of energy of the divine that is waiting to be expressed. And so I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And let's know together that which we seek to experience in life is seeking us. Not like a missile, but like a magnet. Laughter and joy and fun is all a part of this journey, everyone. Remembering the vision statement for our community is a journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We all breathe in together. 1, 2, 3, holding and exhaling to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That in and of itself is a spiritual practice. I may have said in jest today that as we go forward, we take forward with us the "and so it is" angels, but I mean that with all sincerity. That we give ourselves the gift and the blessing to use our mind's eye to imagine this force of life that is walking with us. Many of them have faces that have participated with us in this New Thought community over the years, and many are faceless as far as our knowing their faces, but they have faces upon them because they too at one time walked this earth, being the stamp of individuality that Spirit had placed upon them. Not bound solely by Science of Mind or Mary Baker Eddy or any of these labels of New Thought, but all are individuals that have aligned themselves with the spiritual truth that we are creative by nature, and that the power that resides within us is one of love, as defined by Holmes as the self-givingness of spirit. And so we're ever grateful for this power that is within us, and for all who have carried the torch before, and that this foundation exists for us, which gives us strength to have the courage to use our essence in a new way today. The term peaceful warrior sounds contradictory. But what it means is one who's willing to use their essence, their purposeful energy in a way to not necessarily combat the other forces, but to engage in being the transcendent power in action. And so today, we allow ourselves to be divine beings navigating our humanity. We are fearless, faith-based, and courageous. All those that we affirm are part of, included in this healing energy, feel it right now. A miracle has happened today for us, not in some unexplained existential way, but honoring the Course in Miracles that says a miracle is a shift in perspective. So we let that guide us today. And so as we stand and sing the song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and "Let It Begin with Me," we remember that peace is that energy within us that we can purposefully use to activate conscious evolution.
Let's all rise. And let's sing this song with our whole hearts, because we need it right now. We need this right now. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth. to be with love as our power, with love as our power. United all are we, united all are we. Let us walk with each other. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony, in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my solemn vow to live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Oh, yeah!
Yay!
Oh, yeah!
Yes. Namaste.